Dan Willis here, and we're talking about top credit repair companies. And first and foremost, you don't have to hire anyone. You can do most of it on your own, if not all of it, by yourself. The other big key is it won't happen overnight. However, it's blasphemous to believe that you must live with bad credit for 7 long years. That's the maximum. There is no minimum amount of time that any negative item has to remain on your credit report. So before we talk about the two weapons the credit repair companies are going to use on your behalf, first, your credit score is actually calculated by another company, FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, and it's a lot like your GPA, your grade point average. So if you have an A in every single class, but you have an F in underwater basket weaving, that's going to mess up your GPA, and your credit score is the exact same way. That negative information, those damaging, derogatory items, that's the cause of a bad credit score for the vast majority of people. That's the culprit. So by cleaning up your credit report and removing those errors, you're getting rid of that underwater F in basket weaving. So now the actual two weapons the credit repair companies, the legitimate ones, are going to use on your behalf. The first is the Credit Bureau Dispute Process. This is your right protected by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. However, and it's important this law was passed because the Federal Trade Commission invested the FTC 8 years studying the accuracy of Americans' credit reports, and they found that 1 in every 5 Americans' credit reports contains an error. Further, 1 in 10 Americans contains an error significant enough to be damaging and dragging their credit score down. But that was the original intention of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, passed way back in 1970, was to give consumers a method and a way to dispute, challenge, and remove, especially errors from your credit report. Now, here's the plain truth about it. The credit bureaus, no matter if you do it yourself or with credit repair companies, they're virtually impossible to deal with. 60 Minutes did a recent report about it. Mike DeWise, the Ohio Attorney General, is investigating it right now, investigating these companies, and then he says, quote, the Credit Bureau dispute process is like a secret code to crack. It's virtually impossible to remove errors from your credit report yourself, and especially when you start thinking about these are the same consumers that need to be told that a truck commercial isn't don't try this at home type stuff. So the other tool and the other way that the really good credit repair companies will work is if you're dealing with aggressive debt collectors. You have a whole plethora of laws under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. The most effective, FDCPA, the most effective is requesting account validation just on your account, because if the collection agency doesn't validate your account, then you are no longer legally responsible for it. Further, they're supposed to notify all 3 of the credit bureaus to have them remove that collection listing from your credit report, because FICO says that a collection listing on your credit report can damage and drag your score down by up to 100 points. Just a collection. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article for the full scoop on top credit repair companies. We've also got a free report available there, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. Please subscribe and join our congregation. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.